Yeah, very good afternoon to all. Myself, Ani Sultana, working as assistant professor, and today we are going to discuss the topic that is the calculation and the interpretation of the common descriptive statistics. And we are not going too much into the topic because this is a practical course. So we are not going for any manual calculations, and we will just know what is the purpose and how we are going to incorporate. So what are the drawbacks in calculating manual through manual method, and why we are practically applying all these concepts. So we will discuss we are like discussing this topic into our DT5 stages. That is, first one, it is about defining the data. So why the data has to be defined clearly? It may be in the raw form. We all know that as soon as after collecting the data, it is in the form. It is in the raw form. So being like starting with whether we are working with the we have to understand whether we are going working with the entire population, that is we are going for very census study, or we are gathering any sample, that is we are going for any sample study, that is collecting one particular group, that is we are gathering the information only from the some particular group. So we have to recognize the variables and the measurement scales. We have to be very clearly appropriate to understand whether we are going for nominal, ordinal, interval, or ratio type of scale. Suppose, for example, we are going to collect the data of a week of about the 100 participants about their routine exercise, how much they are going appropriately, they are incorporating into their day-to-day activities. So here the variables include the age, that is the ratio. So because the age of the each respondents may vary, gender it is nominal, and exercise duration is also ratio. Now our second stage, it is the transforming the data into descriptive statistics. So here we are going to next stage of incorporating the data. The last topic discussion is about the where we will use the visualization methods. Here we are going to see going to any calculations what we do in the Excel format. We know what is central tendency, that is mean, median, and mode. So mean, it tells about the average. Suppose if I have 50 students in a class, I want to get the average marks of the average mark or percentage of the students. So average percentage can be calculated on the basis of the average marks they have attained. So if they are attaining the six subjects, I will be calculating 600 divided by 6. This gives the percentage of the each student. This is what the mean defines. Next one, it is the median. We know that is the middle value where it is arranged in where we are following in some order. Yes. Next, we calculate the mode. So suppose if I am calculating the rank, maybe the 2 or 3 students may have attained the same rank. Say for example, a score of 550 out of 600 has been scored by the 5 students. So here, which means number 2, suppose number 2, second rank is repeated for 5 times. This is the mode. Next, data can be transformed into measures of variability. So variability means we use the range, variance, and standard deviation. Range means where I can create a particular range. Say for example, a student may have scored above 300. Minimum mark it is if it is the minimum mark it is 50. 50 marks, right? So averagely a student has to be scored like 50 marks in each subject to pass. So to get at least pass mark. So that is 300 out of 300 out of 600 is the minimum marks the student has to be scored. Yes. So there, what will be the range? Suppose I can fix a range that is 200 to 300. In this range, the failure students will be listed. Suppose if it is the range is 300 to 350, how many students will fall under this category? So here it is very clear that from the 50 total, the first group may have 2 or 3, the second group may have another 4 or 5. Here from the total 50 members, I am be subtracting this my 3 and 4 and so on. So this is called the range. So we call it as that is the maximum range and the minimum. The maximum score is 600. The minimum mark is 300. So I'm creating a range between the 300 to 600. This is the concept. And variance. Variance means there is the average squared of the deviation. So before that we have to understand the standard deviation. So standard deviation means it is the distance measured from the mean. So suppose for example the average, if the average is 5, I can say it is 5. So how many people are close to 5 and how many people are away from 5? Okay, so I call it as the formula to calculate to standard deviation is x minus x bar. X bar, which denotes the mean. Here next x is the observation, number of the observations. So how much I am away from my mean. This is what tells about the second thing. So visualizing the data, which we have already discussed in the last topic, that is the histogram. Depending on the type of data, we use the whether the box plot, scatter plot, or pie charts. And next we have the interpreting the descriptive statistics. Here it tells about whether how we are going to analyze the central tendency, evaluating the variability, and how we are going into, depending upon the objective of any project, we incorporate all these tools. And next, that is the last stage, that is the here communicate the findings clearly. So we have to, why we convert this raw information into the data is to avoid the complexity. So when even a normal person, normal layman could understand with the help of the numbers that this is what the meaningful inference which I have gathered. And contextualize the numbers, highlight the implications. All those can be done to visually summarize. Yes. So this is the if you discuss a small case study, that is applying the DT5 stages to real data, that is data set definition, statistical calculation, and visual analysis. So this can be which we will discuss in the case study discussion video. Yes. So what are the best practices for visual displays? That is the simplicity, clarity, clear labeling. Suppose if I am using a bar chart, so what type of variable is being used, what type of data is incorporated inside the chart, I have to label clearly, I have to name it clearly. So the data should have the strategic color usage, that is the what type of data is presented, and depending upon that the mild colors can be used. And for that appropriate chart selection, both the charts and the table and the font and all the labels should have the matching displays. So to conclude, we have come across the statistically simplify the complexity of the data usage and the systematic DT framework, and how with the help of all these DT5 stages, how we have incorporated and how it enhances the understanding of the data, and how this can helpful for the next stage, that is the data driven decisions. So these are the references so where we can quickly have an access to check whether our data is whether we have how we can transform all this data and what are the methods we can apply, etc. Thank you for listening to the video.